Number 4 says the cost of demolition vehicles in an action movie is shown in the table below. Which of the following is a relation of C, the cost, and N, the number of vehicles? So in this problem, I want you to highlight the word relation. Even though we've used relation differently in the past, on this one, if you look at the answer choices, we can kind of see that on this one, they want us to write an equation. That's what we're going to be doing on this, just by looking at the answer choices. Now, one thing we have to think about is when we write our equations, we usually don't use variables like C and N. We usually use variables X and Y. On this problem, cost is going to be represented by Y because our cost depends on, the Y depends on, and our number of vehicles is going to be X. That's our X value. So on all of these equations, what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite each of those equations with X and Y. So on A, you're going to write Y equals 250X plus 100. On B, Y equals 150X plus 200. And I'm only moving down because I'm writing with this stupid pen and it's too big to write it all together. On C, Y equals 150X plus 100. And on D, Y equals 200X plus 150. So you replaced all the C's and N's with X and Y's. The reason we did that is because the calculator can't graph C and N, but it can graph X and Y. And we're going to use the calculator to pull up the tables. We have to remember on this one, the two buttons that we press to pull up the table is Control T. Now, I know you can't see my calculator, but you are going to grab your calculator and you're going to fill out this table. So the first thing I want you to do is press Home, turn it on. Press the number 1, go to New Document. You're going to add a graph. Now, once you get to add a graph, you're going to see something that says F1 of X equals. Now, we have to remember that F1 of X equals is the same thing as Y equals. So, since our equations are already Y equals, go ahead and start typing the first equation for the answer choice here. 250X plus 100. You don't have to type the Y equals because it's already there. I know some of you are used to going to relation, pressing delete and go to relation. You cannot pull up a table if you go to relation. So that's why I want you to make sure where it says F1 of X equals, start to type the equation there. Remember, if you use relation, it will not pull up the table. So after you type in 250X plus 100, you go ahead and press enter. It's going to look like this real funky little line, but we're not really caring about the line right now. What I want you to press is Control T, pull up the table. Once you press Control T, the first thing you're going to see are points that match this equation. So the first one should pull up when you press Control T. The first table that you see, we're going to mark those values down on our paper to show our work. So in that first table, it looks like 350, which is correct. It matches this point up here, so that's not a problem. But the next point that I see is 600. Does that point match the point on the table that they give us? No. I want you to circle that point. That is the reason we're not going to pick A. So go ahead and circle it and cross out A. We're going to go through and check the tables for each one of the answer choices until we find the right answer. So instead of starting all over, instead of doing Home, New Document, and all that, go back to your calculator. To get rid of the table, press Control T. Now you're looking at the graph. All we need to do is change that equation that we first put in. So press Tab and go up. Press the up arrow. Delete the equation that is there. And then you're going to type in our equation for B, 150X plus 200. After you type that in, press Enter. Then you're going to press Control T. Pull up your table. So once again, we're going to check. The first point that I see is 350. Does it match the table up here? Yes. The next point that I see is 500. Does this match the point that we see on our table? Absolutely not. It's supposed to be 550. So circle that point, and I want you to cross out B. That's why we're not going to pick the second answer choice, B. Then we're going to do the same for C. I want you to press Control-T, get rid of the table. Press Tab and go up to edit the equation. Delete the equation that's there. And then you're going to type in the equation for answer choice C. 150x plus 100. Press enter. Now you see the graph, press Control-T. Then we're going to write those values down as well. But on this one, the very first point I notice is 1, 250. Does this first point match the first point on the table that they give us? Absolutely not. So I can take out the choice C. Now, Miss James, if I was like the most amazing teacher, yes, I would check D. But I think I have enough work to show that A, B, and C are all wrong, which means that the only answer that we have left is D.